You know, guys, last week while I was stuck for hours on the plane from New York to London, and since there was no internet, well, I decided to check the good old newspaper. And in it, there was a big art related article that instantly grabbed my attention. Now, on the surface, it seemed to be just a boring report of some art survey, but something didn't feel quite right for me, and let me show you my exciting findings, as they may literally change your life and show you the real reasons why you might be struggling in sales, or even if you are selling well, how you can easily boost your art sales and expand your reach by thousands of miles. So keep watching, take some notes, because I've prepared some really good stuff here, and even some action steps that you can use and apply in your own art business. So please stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side. You see, out of almost 19,000 art galleries, only 16% of those that responded to the survey made over $1 million in annual sales. And what's even more shocking is that an astonishing 30% said they didn't make any profit at all. If they knew the real numbers, then maybe they wouldn't have started a gallery in the first place, concluded the reporter. Well, at first, that ugly truth sounds rather discouraging, but then again, how come that the art industry is growing and booming? And last year, according to the Art Dealers report, there was an estimated $28 billion, yes, $28 billion in private sales of art and antiques, and an astonishing $16.9 billion in auction sales. So what are these galleries doing so wrong if they can't make any money in a $28 billion industry? Well, it's obvious that people are buying and selling art in large amounts. It's just that they're not buying art from them. What's the most amazing thing is that the answer was right here, in the same article. Most people just don't see it, according to the same research. Even though the USA still remains one of the biggest art markets in the world, it's becoming obvious that US market is simply overcrowded with supply of talented artists that struggle with low demand in local sales. And at the same time, most of them don't even realize that the biggest grossing region for art sales last year wasn't the USA at all. It was, you guessed it right, China. Did you know that last year, 5 out of 10 most expensive auction lots were bought by Asian clients? Now, unless you're living under a rock, you can no longer ignore the fact how rich China is becoming. Now, if you ever visit expensive boutiques in London or Paris, you'll be surprised that the majority of the buyers of those expensive $50,000 luxury bags are actually Chinese people. So here is the answer for you. Expand your art reach to China. Now, as usual, our videos are not just talk, but actual steps that you can implement. So to help you get going, we've made a quick research and action plan to help you get going. So step 1, get into the Chinese, or even better, all Asian markets. Now that can include Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong. Don't limit yourself just to China. We've prepared a list of the biggest Chinese websites that help people buy and sell art, where you can start selling as well. Step 2, prepare a Chinese version of your own website and portfolio. Now, you may have noticed that we have Chinese, Japanese, and even Korean versions of Inspiration Art Book website. And that is no surprise. We put a lot of effort into international exposure, and you should too. You can find professional translators on websites like freelancer.com, Odesk, and even Fiverr. Just make sure you hire 2 independent translators, and make sure the second one fixes the mistakes of the first one, and also make sure that you're not getting some sort of Google Translate rip-off, but an actual human quality translation. Step 3. Visit China or other rich Asian countries like Japan, South Korea or Singapore. Do it in person. Book a booth at one of the biggest Asian art shows. Now, this isn't as expensive as you may think. It'll give you great insights into the Asian art markets and help you find the local Asian art dealers and art promoters. They love to work with Western world clients, so obviously rich Chinese art buyers want to buy Western world art, not just Chinese art, which, as you might guess, is not always original. Here's a bonus tip for you. hire a Chinese virtual assistant. Now, since obviously you may struggle understanding Chinese, you'll have a hard time reaching the Chinese buyers, so the virtual assistant from China can help you connect to local art markets, local art promoters, research and find connections for you, and help you with communication and translations. And due to the huge time difference, they can also help you with customer support, making prints for you. They're cheap in China, shipping the artwork, booking the Asian art shows, and all the logistics involved. And make sure you're really hiring a Chinese assistant, not some Asian-looking lady from California. Do your research on the person and you'll be absolutely fine. And here's one more bonus tip. Since I deal a lot with China, I can tell you that PayPal or credit card payments are not really popular in China because of the high fees, and most people would prefer bank wire. Now, bank wire is a good way to make bigger payments, but it's irreversible. So to protect yourself from scammy buyers, make sure you always get 100% prepayment before you ship your artwork to them, or use some third-party escrow services as a protection. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you missed my previous video about the secret 17 ways of selling your art, make sure you watch it. We give you amazing nuggets of information and tips on how you can boost your art sales. And as usual, like I always say, make sure you join our Inspiration Art Book and get great international exposure, plus all the great tips and promos that we are doing. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be glad to see you in our friendly artists family of Inspiration Art Book artists. Thank you so much.